Down syndrome is one of the most common chromosomal abnormalities in humans. Throughout the world, it affects 1 in 700 babies. Individuals with Down syndrome have varying symptoms like intellectual or developmental disabilities and even abnormalities in facial features, heart defects, and several other chronic signs of illness. Taking that, the lifespan of those with Down syndrome is obviously much lower than those without. And due to the prevalence of the disorder, there have been several different studies published on the sociological and psychological effects of Down syndrome, but one baffling statistic stood out to my group. An early 2000s population study led by Dr. Kwanhe Yang found that the average lifespan of white Americans with Down syndrome is 50 years, while Black Americans with Down syndrome are expected to live around 25 years. That's half. In this talk, we'll take a deeper look into the contributions and possible solutions to this health disparity. First, let's start with a little background on the cellular basis of Down syndrome.
Due to a mistake made in the process of splitting chromosomes between sperm and egg cells, individuals with Down syndrome receive an additional copy of chromosomes 21 full or partial in their bodies. On January 19, 2023, a recent study showed that cells from individuals with Down syndrome had defects in forming primary cilia, which are structures on the surface of cells that work as signaling hubs to control how cells grow and develop. Excessive levels of a protein called percitrin, which is encoded by a gene on chromosome 21, went largely to blame for these cilia defects. However, it is unclear how percitrin disrupts cilia assembly and how this may contribute to the medical conditions observed in individuals with Down syndrome. During the mice experiments, they found that trisomy 21 led to higher levels of peristrin and altered the way molecules were organized all at, at the sites where primary cilia form. Further studies will be required to find out whether defects in primary cilia may contribute to other medical conditions observed in individuals with Down syndrome.
A recent study completed in February of this year, published by Sterling et al. In the National Library of Medicine, suggests that GnRH, a hormone that aids in the release of other hormones, could potentially restore cognition in patients with Down syndrome and other neurodegenerative diseases. The study found a new smell and a promising therapeutic avenue to combat age-related cognitive decline in Down syndrome. The authors conducted a pilot study to assess the effects of GnRH therapy on 7 adult men with Down syndrome and olfactory defects. The treatment involved administering regular pulses of GnRH for 6 months via a mini pump. The GnRH therapy enhanced cognitive function in 6 of the 7 Down syndrome participants, who showed significantly improved scores in higher order executive functions and a positive trend towards improved episodic memory. Based on these findings, GnRH therapy could be a promising therapeutic avenue to combat age-related cognitive decline in Down syndrome. Although it is great to see scientists making these strides in this area, we can only hope that the research leads to even more breakthroughs in the future. Although we must acknowledge the harsh reality that many individuals from minority backgrounds face disparities in healthcare, including lower quality of care, a lack of access to healthcare and insurance. These disparities can lead to negative health outcomes and decreased life expectancy, as said in the previous statements. Society must continue to work towards a more equitable healthcare system that provides everyone with opportunity to live a healthy and fulfilling life.
Down syndrome affects 1 in every 700 babies. With all that being said, Down syndrome can affect anyone. No one is exempt, but Black Americans are still more likely to become diagnosed at a later age and may not have the resources or finances to better care for their needs as opposed to other races. Having this genetic disorder will cause individuals to require more help, but not be solely dependent upon someone. People with Down syndrome are still able to live long, healthy lives as independent adults. It is important for society to understand that it is perfectly fine to be different and that we were all not meant to look the same and act the same. There would be no such thing as beauty if everyone looked the same.
Thank you.